Hi guys, Dave here for the Gastronomic Gardener. You know, one of the things I've struggled with for many years is getting the proper irrigation or watering of my vegetables. Yes, I've stood out here with the hose and watered them, and come August, you get tired, and a lot of times the soil can become hydrophobic. That is, it doesn't absorb water and it just runs across the surface. Well, this year I've decided to do something about it. I decided to put in a drip irrigation system, one that I can plug in, let it run, and it'll slowly add moisture to the soil. But first I had to plant it. There'll be a video or picture here or here, I'm not sure which one, that'll show you the layout. So these are my L-shaped beds. Each one of them will have a main line going across one of the 7-foot legs, and then 7 lines coming off the main line feeding the entire bed. The idea is that there should be enough water that there'll be some overlap. I'll show a diagram there of what I have in mind. So there's 4 beds with that layout, so I just need to set that up and repeat it 4 times. I got my supplies from a company called dripdepot.com. This is not a paid endorsement. As a matter of fact, they don't even know I'm doing this. It's just what I did, and I'm telling you what my experience is with that company. And in fact, it was very good. They even put Tootsie Pops in with their order, which I kind of like. I'll put the entire list that I purchased from them in the description, and they'll give you an idea. I think all in on this system, I'm at about 150, maybe 170. We'll have to see how the numbers work out. But I was surprised at how inexpensive it really was. So in the next part, I'll show you the installation. We'll speed it up so it's not quite as obnoxious as it would be to watch me do all 4 beds. And then I'm going to talk to you about how it works, the head end that I built and designed that works well, and I'll see you after that part. So these pieces came from the Drip Depot. This is going to be the end that accepts the quick connect adapter. Clearly it's not a quick come out of the bagger. Okay, there's one. That'll accept. And that quick connector I just got at the hardware store, big box store. I'm sure you can find them near you. Yes. The end of the hose is going to fit onto this. What's interesting about this is normally when you think of tightening something, you're tightening it up to the top. But this one, the hose will fit over this, and then you'll turn it this way, snug up over the end and make it watertight. See how that goes closer to the end? Okay, so let's get this one assembled. So the next step is to use the same tool. It has a cutter, but it also has a punch, and I'm going to punch it just for demonstration. This is the same as this hose. So you get it where you want it. It punches a hole, and then you take a barb, insert it into the 1/4-inch strip line hose, measuring them out lengthwise so that they fit all the way across the bed. That was it. Real time was about 20 minutes. This bed's done. 2 down, 2 to go. So all 4 beds have been installed. They all have identical or nearly identical setups. There's a 1/2-inch feeder tube that runs across one of the 7-foot legs, and then there are 7 feeder lines with 1/2 gallon per hour emitters every 6 inches. So I actually need to put this on for about 30 minutes, 2 times a week, for each bed to get my 1 inch of moisture per week. That hasn't been that hard. We've been getting some rain, so my experience is really that I'm only doing about once a week. Let's take a look at that head end I was discussing. And head end refers to the top part or nearest to your faucet or water source at the top of an irrigation system. So here's the head end that I put together. Most big irrigation systems have a single head end and then all the irrigation runs off of it. What I've decided to do is to make a portable one that I can move to each of my 4 beds. And let me go through it with you. So I've mounted it on this like a little sandwich board that you'd see in front of a restaurant. What we have here is this connects to the main water line, so this goes to my house hose. It comes in and it goes to a timer, which allows me to control how long this actually runs. Then it goes into water regulator. So if you try to run low pressure drip irrigation off your main line, you're going to blow out all the tubes on it. It's way too high pressure. So this steps it down, I think, to 25 psi. I have to look at the parts list to tell you exactly. And then we have a filter, which I don't know if it's necessary. It wasn't that expensive. And so it helps keep debris out of the water line and then out of the systems. So I use quick connects. So on the garden hose, it has a quick connect. I plug this in, and then each of the 4 beds has a quick connect, and I plug this in. Set the timer for 30 minutes, and then it's really nice because I'm not spending time paying attention to the watering anymore. It's watering. So I can take that 30 minutes to cut the grass, do some weeding, do something else, and I don't have to worry about it being overwatered because the timer will shut off the water after the 30 minutes. It's a great little system and it works well. I added a couple of embellishments. I have a chain on it so I can't over open it so it's not going to fall apart. I have a handle on the back, and frankly the little eye hook, if I can get it to work. Funny how that happens when you're trying to film. I can carry it around without it flopping all over the place. So far, this has been really great. I would recommend it, but many people don't. They just do one head end and then run irrigation all over. I'm trying to keep it clean and not have hoses to trip on. So there's the head end. I've been using this for a few weeks now, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. But what have I noticed? Well, there's been a couple of things. One, I've had some blowouts where the plug at the end of the lines, the small irrigation, the 1/4 inch emitter lines, all of a sudden I look up and the water's spitting out. I have a blowout. I've tried to mitigate that by cutting off that end and putting a new plug in, and that seems so far, cross your fingers, to have worked. When I first started installing, and you might have seen it when I was doing the install earlier in the video, I had made the lines longer than they need to be and had attached them to the end of the far end of the bed. I did that on 2 beds. Second 2, I didn't do that, and I don't see a difference other than perhaps I used less material and I didn't have to fiddle around with tapping little things into the end and the end bed to anchor them down. It's been great so far. I really enjoyed it. It was nearly 90 today, and I don't know, this is going to be an impromptu test to see how well this has worked. I have mulched some of the beds with dried grass clippings to try to conserve some moisture. So I'm going to take a quick look here and see how the moisture level is in the bed. Let's take a look. So here we are between 2 basil plants, which I need to top because it looks like they're about to start blooming. And then frankly, I wish they were a little bushier at this point. But let's see what's happening below the surface. So let's put that back in and pull that weed. But already you can see the dirt is moist. The surface doesn't look like much, but let's go just a little deeper. And there's moisture in here. So far, it seems that it's working for me. So there you have it, my DIY drip irrigation install, full video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed it, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. The button will be right there. And we'll see you next time. But wait a second, how do you water? Overhead with a sprinkler, hand water with a cup of coffee or a beverage of your choice, and not at all? Let Mother Nature take care of it? I have no idea, but let me know, and I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.